Hello YouTube, this is Brian Tubbs coming at you with another video. Today I'm going to be making a couple bases for some of our pieces. Actually making bases for two pieces. I've already made the base for the third piece. The first base will be for a piece we call Waves. If you can see that. It's all stainless steel balls in the center. I think I made a video about this before at some point in the process, but today I'll be showing you guys how we make the ball, how we make the base for them. They have stainless steel balls in the center, all stainless steel, and I'll show you a picture of the finished product. Let me put this down. It's already finished, so I don't want to scratch it up. I'll be right back. Alright. And the next piece will be I'll be making the base for is this piece. We call it Dolphins. I think I mentioned it before on a previous video, but there are three pieces identical, stainless steel, and they're stacked on top of one another. So I'll be making the base for this piece as well. And since this is covered, I'll just set this aside. The other piece I just had in my hand, didn't want to scratch it because we've already put our patterns in it. If I lay it down, it can get scratched, and it's difficult to do the patterns when a piece is already put together. Alright, so this is Dolphins. And there's another piece we're making called Waves. Also, it's a different Waves. We have two pieces called Waves. So this is the base of the Waves 2, all stainless steel. It's kind of in a football shape. So this was a round pipe. I cut it on each side. Cut about an inch off of each side, set the piece on the ground, stepped on it to make it a little bit more oblong. I could have put it in a vise, but it was faster just to step on it. Did that to both sides, which gives it that football, more of a football look. And again, this is all stainless steel. Now I will show you guys a couple quick pictures of the kind of the finished product of what we're making the base for. Now this picture, if you guys can see it, that's Dolphins. It's three stainless steel pieces stacked on top of one another, and the base is stainless steel as well. It's kind of hard to see the base in this picture, but I'll be making that base. And then this is a picture of Waves, if you can see it. It's three stainless steel pieces that are kind of stacked together, and they sit on the football base. They're probably about 36 inches tall, and they kind of step down from there. And then this is a piece, Waves, with the stainless steel balls, and that's the base it's setting on. If you guys see the dogs to the what would that be, to the right of the picture, those are dogs I used to make when I started out. I made the dogs, I made cats, large outdoor plants for your gardens, big flowers. You go to if you go to like a store, Meijer or Home Depot, and they sell the garden flowers and whatnot in there. Those are really chintzy, really thin metal. Mine were thick, half-inch thick, metal. and stainless steel, you know, pedals coming off of them, you know, thick stainless steel. They were just massive and huge, and people loved them. People bought them like crazy. They bought the dogs, the cats. They just buy us out. But then I moved on from doing that to more of your abstract, non-figurative stuff. I mean, your dogs and cats and flowers, those are called figurative. But then I moved on to more abstract stuff, like the stuff I'm making now. A lot more lucrative doing your abstracts, your tabletops, your large outdoor pieces. You know, the dogs and cats and flowers were fun to make, easy to make, but I just kind of moved on from that. So I was going to mention these are the pieces of metal that I'll be using for the base of Waves, the one with the 3 balls in it. These are the 4 pieces of metal that I'll be using. And once I get the lower frame built, and then I'll take these pieces, lay them on this 10 gauge stainless steel, and trace it out with my plasma cutter. Then I'll TIG weld them on to this piece, grind it, smooth it out, polish it a little bit, and that will be the base. And now the base for dolphins is shaped a little bit differently. It kind of goes kind of like this, and this piece, if I would stop dropping it, this piece kind of sits in the middle, so it kind of sits like that, because the dolphin piece is on the front edge, on the nose. It has a kind of a radius, so this radius kind of follows that, and then the dolphins, the shape, they have a radius on the shape, so this piece kind of follows that. Just doing little things to try to just make your work stand out more than other people's. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just tack this together. These pieces, I'll tack them together just to let you see how I do it. Then I'll bring one piece over here, set it on here, trace it out, let you see how I do it. Then I'll just kind of tack it up so you guys can see how we do it. And then I'll have to move on, because we have a lot of things to do. But I just wanted to just kind of give you guys a little insight on how we do our bases. And I have this saw setting here. This is the Trajan Q700. It cuts up to 2 inches in diameter pipes or tubes or whatever you have. So I use this to cut my stainless steel. That's a 3/8 inch, about 3/8 inch thick by about 1 1/4 inch with stainless steel flat bar. So I use this saw to cut these. I could use my large cutoff wheel, my hand cutoff wheels, my plasma cutter, but I bought this primarily for cutting stainless steel. When I was making the dogs, flowers, I was using this to cut, so I still use it now to cut like flat bar and whatnot. You can get them from, I think it's sawblade.com. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I've been using it for years. And you just buy the stainless steel blades. I think they're like a 48 tooth, but make sure whatever blade you get, it says it's good for stainless steel, because anything else will just burn up. These don't last that long, but they last longer than the non-stainless steel blades. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is start tacking these pieces together so you guys can see. I'm going to use my Lincoln 140 welder with stainless steel wire in it just to get it set up. Then after I get it set up, I'll be moving on to my Lincoln 200 TIG welder to go ahead and get everything finalized as far as we'll get it all welded together. But right now, just kind of getting it lined up. And making the determination as to how I want to do it exactly. I think I'm going to extend this out. We never make our pieces the same way twice. We never do it. They're always slightly different. So when we tell people at the shows that the piece they're buying is different from any other piece that we've made, we're telling the truth. I do not like to make pieces identical to another piece. There should be something different about every piece. And that just keeps your creativity going and growing, because you're not just making the same thing over and over and over again. I'm going to tack this in place. Okay, I think what I'm going to do with this one is just get it all tacked in with my MIG welder as opposed to going to my TIG. Just have a few large gaps the way I put them together. So I just want to fill them in. And I'll put my helmet on for this one. Let it cool just for a minute. Make sure it's level, not going to be rocking side to side, back and forth. Do it again. Adding extra weld on this back edge because I want that to come to a point on the end. that's what this one looks like initially. I had to go back in and fill in those few spots and have this excess weld sticking out because I want to take it straight up and then bring it to a point on the rear. Then I'll take this, just kind of grind it and kind of roll these edges just a little bit. Alright. So I'm going to do now is get my grinder, my it's a 36 grit flat disc. When I say flat, I'm talking about these guys right here. 36 inch, the P36. And of course, when I'm talking about a flap, I talk about this. And I get these off of Amazon, Work Pro. There's a pack of 20. You get like 10 40s. You get probably like 3 or 4 60s, 80s, 120s. Work Pro. Like $26 and some change for a box of 20. So I just buy off of Amazon because I get them quickly. And if I really need a good disc, I'll go to the Weld Supply store, which is about 5 minutes from here. But those are like $5 or $6 each, whereas these are $1 or something each. The ones at the Weld Supply last a little bit longer, but the way I grind now, I don't have to buy many of these because I buy and use these flat discs. These are like 60-some cents a piece. So I'll just get a like a, I think there's a box of I don't know, 40. Let me check. Hold on one second. There's get a box of 25. I think for 5 boxes, and make sure you get the blue ones. The part number is 48102. 48102. And they also sell a red disc, which is a red flat disc, and that part number is 48012. So 48012 is for the red flat discs, and the 48102 is for the blue discs. I buy the 48102 blue because it lasts a lot longer than the red discs. The red disc I use mostly when I TIG weld mild steel or core 10 because that's a lot softer than the stainless steel. But with stainless steel, whether I'm doing MIG welding or TIG welding, I'll use the blue on stainless steel because stainless steel is so hard. But that's CGW, and I gave you the part numbers. And even these things, they're 36 grit, but on stainless steel, they don't last very long. Alright, so I'm going to grind this down. It's going to be kind of noisy, so you can maybe turn your volume down if you need to. going to do now is add a little bit more weld to this spot right here. So see, it's just a little low. And what I'll do with the other areas, when I put the top on, I'll take my of course TIG water and weld that in. Then any other little spots that I see any pinholes, I'll hit that with the TIG water. As you saw, with as much excess weld I had on there, hard stainless steel, MIG wire, it didn't take this thing long to knock it down. Alright, so as you can see, now I have this rolling, and then it comes to a point on both sides. This is sharp, and so I'm even sharper once I get the top on, make that in, or TIG it in, and then I'll do my final grinding and blending, get this point pretty sharp after I get that done up top. And then I'll just go around and just grind everything in, blend it, smooth it out, put a little polish finish on it. Alright, so with this, the next step is going to be to lay it on this 10 gauge stainless steel and trace it with my plasma cutter to cut it out. And what I'll do, since I have a straight edge here, I'll use this as one of my edges so I don't have to cut, 1, 2, 3. I can just cut 1, 2 and be done, with making the cuts. And what I do, I'll line it up pretty close to the edge. I used to take a marker and trace around it and then go back and cut with the plasma cutter. But when you do that, you have a lot of excess material that you have to grind away in order to make it, fit properly. Let me step off just for a minute and turn my plasma cutter on. Alright. This tip is looking pretty bad. I've been using it as a drag tip, and this is not a drag tip. A drag tip has little raised areas on it, but this doesn't. So I just use it as a drag tip anyway. Alright, so let me give this a shot. I have my back to the cameras for a minute. that tip, the tip on here is pretty worn out. That's why it took more effort to cut through that. But I usually use my tips until they just stop working. Alright, so this is the upper piece for it. So I have to do now is just grind this down a little bit. So bear with me for a minute. Alright, so there you have it. Just be laying on there like that. Just take it all the way around. Wherever there's like overhangs, I don't care. So the TIG welder will melt that right in. I'll use this excess metal to weld that spot. I won't need to even add TIG rod. Alright guys, so like I said, next thing that I will do after this is just tack it in and TIG weld it in, grind it down, either put lines in it from the grinder or I can polish it or do whatever I want to do with it just to get it ready for the dolphins. Then after finish this piece, I'll move on to the piece for waves. Basically it's the same process, nothing different. Other than I'll have slightly different angles, but the overall process is the same. Alright guys, this is Brian Tubbs coming at you again with another video. And the next video I'll be updating you on where I am with this. It could be finished or somewhere at the finishing stages. But I just want to show you guys again a little bit of the inside of what we do and how we do it. So that you will know what artists out in the field and at shows or whatnot, how they do things. But that's how we do it. Oftentimes we do it slightly different than other artists. Some artists are not as thorough as we are, some of them are, but this is kind of how we do it. Alright, I'll talk to you guys soon. My wife was out here in the shop yesterday evening. Didn't get a chance to film because we were putting together waves with the balls and all that stuff. So hopefully some point soon she'll be on video with me and we'll show you guys kind of how we work together. And then she has brought to my attention that she wants to talk to someone that saw us at a show, and this person wants to become an apprentice with us to learn how to do this. We'll see about that. I'm not exactly sure yet. I don't mind teaching. I love teaching, but I'd rather do it like this in this format as opposed to someone live trying to do it and kind of show them they're spitting sparks on me and they're welding and welding is flying everywhere. My wife and I, when we do it together, we know how we work. I'll be on one side of the shop, she'll be on the other side of the shop. When she get ready to pull the trigger on the welder, she'll say, you know, watch your eyes, or something along that line, just so I'll know that she's about to fire up the welder. You know, there's a lot of things that go on, you know, in a shop, or people call it studio, or whatever you want to call it, like this. There's grinding wheels, there's cutoff wheels, there's plasma cutters, there's welders, there's everything going around here. So you really have to be careful. You really have to know who you're getting when you're getting someone to step in to help out. So, alright guys, I'm just kind of rambling on, but just kind of letting you know what we're doing here. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Like I said, it'll most likely be an update on these 4 pieces. Actually, I didn't show you guys the dance, but I showed you the other day on a different video. I was cutting out the shapes, getting ready to put it together. So it's together now, just tacked. So I had to go through and do all the cutting off of the excess metal and all that stuff, and then welding and grinding and all that stuff. So I'll keep you guys posted on what I'm doing, and I hope you learned something today as far as how to put your bases together. And I will look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Alright, take care, peace out.